Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and oh my gosh, we got the biggest info dump for Dragon Ball Super Fusion World we have gotten in quite some time, and it is so large in fact that I have to split this into two videos. So this video is going to focus on the Set 6 news and the insights I can glean from the spoilers we got. Next video is going to be everything else, so stay tuned tomorrow for that. And if you like this sort of content, make sure you like the video, and if you love it, join the UniX fam today by clicking that subscribe button. And if you got an extra mile in you, go in the description and check out all the little ways you can support the brand, like whether it be my other channel, the Patreon, etc, etc. Now let's hop into the content. So here are all the leaders for Set 6 Rivals Clash, and we've got this Reddit post courtesy of the Reddit user NextChris, and he has gone and translated all these, so we'll be using these for the translations. So first and foremost, we are going to step over to the Android 18 leader. On the front, it's going to draw one card when attacking, and then of course at life 4 or less, you can flip her over and become an Awakened leader. Now on the back end, the Awakened side, you still have the when attacking, draw one card. However, activate battle your turn once per turn. Your battle cards with Android and their special traits that are in battle with your opponent's battle cards gain plus 20k power for the battle, and this is a very, very strong effect. Think about it this way: you could have a 20k, they can become a 40k when it's swinging on a battle card. So this will start removing, this deck is seemingly going to start removing battle cards straight up by battle, just brawlers, just going in. And when it comes to what we have for the Archetype, of course in the trailer we can see here that we are coming straight out of the Cell Saga with Android 18, 17, 16, which looks to be the SR, mind you, and then we've got Dr. Gero, I see 19 there, but we're also going to other sagas. There's Ader in the background from the Dragon Ball saga, and then there's also 13, 14, and 15 from the movie, and then you also see Cell from the same saga. So realistically, it's just all around an Android deck, and it's pretty cool. Going back to the point I was talking about before, we do have Android 16 being an SR. You can see it because his art goes from outside the border, and that is the telltale sign of such a rarity. Now, going back to the next leader, or going forward to the next leader, we have Goku, and this Goku is from the World Martial Arts Tournament. That's a very special saga, well, when it happens multiple times in Dragon Ball for me. But on the front end, you of course have the draw one effect and then awaken at 4 or less life. He draws a card, and then on the awaken side, you have the drawing when attacking once again, followed by the activate main once per turn. Discard one card from your hand, and during this term, the next time you use an extra card with a neutral cost of 2 or less, you don't have to pay the cost. Now the coolest thing about this is it says 2 or less, and that means that you can use all the 1-drops. Maybe you might have offensive things like Gallic Gun that you can use, but this is going to be pretty flexible. And because you're discarding a card to use an extra card, if you think about that, not only are you probably going to reach the 7 or less threshold, but you're also probably going to start creeping up on the grave threshold as well, the drop zone threshold, because every time you use this effect, you're getting rid of 2 cards from your hand, bring you closer to 7, or filling up your drop. 1 to discard and then 1 for the extra card you're using. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, looking at his archetype, they didn't give a splash page, but they started showing stuff. You can see Bacterian as a card. Moving on to the next slide, you have things like Jackie Chun, and Jackie Chun's art shows that he is an SR, so I'm really excited to see what that's going to do. And then we have a 2-cost Nam card that is just an extra card. So of course this deck is going to live and die off of what extra cards it gets, and hopefully they don't give it the Go Easy treatment from Set 4 where we pretty much just got nothing to work with and then they never gave us anything again. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And then we also have a secret rare, but that I'm going to get to later because that has its own slide. And then the next card we're going to talk about is this Green Broly. By far probably the hypest leader of the set, as well as the most interesting in terms of effects. His effect straight up just says, when attacking, draw 1 card, into the turn, add 1 card from your life to your hand. Awakening, when he is at 4 or less life, you draw a card and then flip this card over. So right off the rip, he's drawing 3 cards per turn. You draw for your turn, you draw for your swing, and at the end of the turn, you take a life. So you're doing that. This guy, because of his effect on his backside, he's going to stop charging at about 4, which is really going to allow him to stack that hand. Now the Archetype is going to have to carry this leader because 4 doesn't give you access to pretty much anything that green typically does. However, it is cool to note that you're drawing 3 cards per turn, and when your opponent has to attack with their leader effect, sometimes you'll be getting an extra card, and this is all going to lead to you having a massive hand in the early to mid game. Now, on his Awaken side, it says when attacking, choose 1 Broly BR in your battle area and place it in its owner's drop. If you have 4 energy, exactly 4, not less, not more, play up to 1 Broly BR with a cost of 1 greater than the card chosen by this skill in your from your hand in rest mode. And then activate main once per turn, draw 1 card, then discard 1 card from your hand. So already this screams that we are probably going to be seeing some 7 cost Broly's, some 6 cost Broly's maybe, and later we're going to see that we do indeed get a 9 cost. So this is going to be a pretty cool thing. The ability to take like a 7 cost Broly, put him in the drop, and then maybe play the starter deck Broly to pop a card, draw a card, and then if this happens as early as turn 4, they only have 1 turn to nullify, to remove, not even nullify. You can't stop this guy from just swinging. Not tapping is not enough. You'll still be able to play the 9 cost we're going to see a tease of later. But if you just play that on turn 4, you pop something, you draw something, and then they have to remove it. They have to remove it on turn 4, and that's really crazy. That's actually insane, to be honest. So that's pretty cool. Activate main? Yeah, activate main, draw 1 card, and discard 1 card from your hand. So you're not getting a full draw, but the hand got really big to begin with. But we're getting another card later that we'll see in this video that's probably going to help with that that stemming of the hand. Now, when it comes to this, just like we were talking about, you're kind of leveling up your Broly's. So here we can see a Broly that's 3, right? And then we also a 3 cost Kid Broly, and then next we're looking at a 4 cost Adult Broly. And then something interesting happens. It jumps to a 9 cost, and this 9 cost is the secret rare. So the thing that, and you can tell that by the silver border on a battle card. That's pretty much how you tell it. The silver border on the battle card. Now, the thing that's really getting this to me, right, is that it goes from 3 to 4 and then up. You can only charge to 4 energy, which means, in my opinion, that you are either going to have a way to cheat out 6 or 7 costs, or we are going to see the very One Piece-like effect of cards gaining levels as they hit the board, or while they're on the board. And I think that something that kind of also helps this theory is that Goku from set 5, the secret rare, he lowers his cost in your hand and then goes back up to 7 when he's on there. So I think we could be seeing the opposite. All we would need is one of these cards to be like, okay, this guy gains, for instance, this one, 3 cost. If he hits the board and gains 3 cost, you can level him up to a 7. And I think that's what probably needs to happen, or there's got to be a way to cheat out a 7 cost, because you literally cannot tap that much energy in this deck. Now, we're going to move on to Gomar. And Gomar looks like he's going to be another one of the super interesting leaders. The translations from Reddit say, when attacking, draw 1 card, and he flips over at 4 or less. And then, on top of that, on his Awaken side, when attacking, place 1 field with Demon Realm and its special traits from your battle area into its owner's drop. Play up to 1 battle card with a cost of 3 or less and the same special trait as the field placed into the owner's drop by this skill from your hand. So this is pretty cool. Just judging off this fact alone, you will be playing field cards, getting their effects, and then putting the field card to the drop to play out a body. And that means that if the field card only costs 1, 2, or 3, you're going to be able to essentially play out a 6 cost worth of energy for 3, because you're playing the field card, getting its effects, putting it in the drop, and then playing out a 3 drop or so. I'm assuming 3 is just going to be where the money's at for these cards, and I'm here for it. I think that could be a really, really cool looking thing. And then we immediately get previews for this, and we can see that they show us 2 of our SRs right off the bat. We have Degesu just as a 1-drop, and that's cool. Maybe he's just going to be a searcher. But you have the Gomar SR right here. And then you have the Arensu SR. And like I said, you can see how their effects go past the borders while Degesu is within his frame. That's how you can tell their SRs. So that's actually pretty cool right off the gate. And you can see that Arensu is a 3 cost. And that automatically lets us know that whatever Arensu does, hopefully it's busted, because we will be able to get her onto the field for free by popping a field card, because there's no shot that she doesn't have the Demon Realm trait. So that's actually looking pretty cool. I'm actually digging that. And then the last leader that we have to talk about in this video is Demon King Piccolo, the mighty DKP. And this one's very interesting. Guy is a critical leader in black, the first black critical leader, and he just has critical and then awaken. When your life is at 4 or less, add the top card of your deck to your life, then flip this card over. So he's the first leader that heals upon awakening. The weird part about this though is that he does not have that extra 5k. So this is going to be a little scary. There needs to be a lot of self-awakeners in this deck because that's the issue that critical leaders are having right now. Too many self-awakeners. Now, that are not enough self-awakeners that actually do things. You can flood your deck with self-awakeners and you can awaken on time, but then maybe you just draw a bunch of self-awakeners when you need gas. There's a lot of issues that crit leaders currently have. However, this guy is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, I know a lot of people are not happy about his 15k critical, or 15k, right? But I think in this deck, you can kind of let your leader do the work and never give your opponent a chance to not swing on you. Like, play a self-awakener, do not swing with it. And the thing that I really like about this is when you attack with King Piccolo, if he was a 20k leader, you'd probably just go 20k in your opponent's 15k and then just drop a 10k. But this number does allow you, especially if there are lots of searchers, cantrips, and self-awakeners in the deck, I think that you can just afford to attack and maybe drop a 10k, forcing a 25k crit. A 25k crit is almost assured critical damage because a 10k is not enough to stop it. So you might actually crit your opponent's first 3 to 4 life. And, well, sorry, probably with self-awakeners, you're probably going to crit your opponent's first 2 life at the minimum. Maybe 3 if they really aren't trying to self-awaken against you. And then when you do awaken, you get to heal 1, going up to 5 as an awakened leader, which is something that we normally don't have. Now, on his backside, for an awakened leader, when attacking, draw 1 card and then activate main once per turn. Remove 1 of your energy markers. Play up to 1 demon's egg from your drop. Now, this is actually very interesting. It says remove 1 of your energy markers, and I know we've had this wording before, but when they say 1 of your energy markers, it just makes me feel like there's a possibility that eventually we will get a card that doesn't ask you to not have an energy marker to create an energy marker, much like Gundam TCG has. So with the EX resource where you can have up to 5. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. And we really need to see what this Demon Egg does. But if you look at the lore, and no, Bandai tends to be thematic, Piccolo spawns eggs, those eggs spawn his children, and we already see a lot of those when we look at the Archetype splash page. Right here, we have, cymbal, piano, tambourine, cymbal, piano, drum, and tambourine from left to right. And so these are going to all be effects. We don't see any of the SRs. These guys are all clearly within their borders. And so that's interesting. But yeah, you're going to be spawning his children. And hopefully I would be happy if every one of these could take a life. Because we honestly need it. Maybe not the 1-drop. Maybe the 1-drop. He's a crit leader who doesn't go 20k. Maybe this 1-drop takes life too. Either way, I would hope that we have as many cards in this deck that take life, and 10ks as well. If I can play a card, take a life, and then swing for 15 and combo a 10, I'm going to be in a really good place, because then you have no choice but to attack my leader, and I just took a card from you with crit. So that's going to be pretty cool. Now moving on to the next slide, we have the secret rares, and this was a big shock to me, not going to lie. I was certain looking at this that black was overdue for another SCR, and I was thinking that if we were getting Broly in this set, then maybe we'd have a black Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta SCR. And then I was also certain that that red would get a secret rare, considering what's been happening at the finale of Daima. But no, they subverted my expectations. They completely went another way, and I can see Broly being one because he's hype, but green just got an SCR last set, and so I did not expect this to be a repeat. So now green has Sun Gohan from the Cell Saga as an SCR, Kid Gohan from the Sand Saga as an SCR, Goku as an SCR from the Namek Saga, and then we have this Broly. So I believe that's more secret rares than any other color in the game. I'm pretty sure, because red has both UI Gokus, blue has both Vegetos, and now they're going to be at a third one. Black only has 1, yellow has 2. So it's just I think it's a little tilted, but it is what it is. And then this 5-drop is cool. I really want to know what it does because it's going to have to do something with extras, I'm assuming. Theme's very, very Archetype special. So I'm excited to see what these do, and I'm scared. I'm scared of this Broly. He's a 9-drop. This guy's going to be massive in terms of attack, and I'm honestly afraid to see what he does. Now the only thing that's kind of weird though is that this Broly does seem to put things into play in rest mode. So I don't know how this 9-drop is going to ball, but it's probably got an effect that either makes it like incredibly hard to remove from the board, so you have to wait till next turn, or maybe just straight up untaps itself. But like, this is going to be weird. Like, what if it had an activate main untap itself, so the first time it comes out it can only attack once, but every turn after that it attacks twice? Like, there's just a lot of weird things that can happen, but I'm scared. The power looks super scary here. Now, moving on to the SPs, right? We have got 3 new SPs, and one of them is the Whis Super combo from set 1. We have my man in one of his best fits ever. We've got the Gohan from the Satan City leader, and this is like Archetype, and this is great. I will have to get a place out of these because this looks amazing. And then we have Stone Cold Gogeta. This is Ultimate Sparking, and this art is just amazing. And granted, that's a really good card in black in general. So that's actually pretty cool. Now, something that we do have here are 2 SRs, and the SRs are Goma as well as Chi-Chi. So now we do have a black SR. And I think, like, one of the reasons why this video came out a little later is simply because I'm trying to be more thorough on the translations. I try to send things to people I have talked to, or I can talk to in Japan, and see if they can just, like, read it and give it back to me, because I don't want to make any mistakes. Sometimes I have translated things and it's been like a little bit off, and I don't want to give them misinformation. So I probably won't be trying to do translations unless I can word for word map it out with other cards, or have one of my Japanese homies read it for me. But this Goma, right? This Goma is on play, draw a card, right? And then when attacking once per turn, if your leader is King Goma DA, you're going to be able to play up to 1 field card with Demon Realm and its special traits from your drop. So that's going to be his effect. This is going to be good. We know that there's going to be a lot of field cards in this deck as the leader is built off of it. And while this card is on the board as a 30k 4 cost, now its attack allows it to be pretty sturdy on the defense. Red has to work a little bit to get it off the field, but 4 cost is not really too much. A lot of decks that deal with 4 or deal with cost based on level, removal based on level, can get this off the board quick. But it's cool that every turn that this card is here, he's going to be able to help fuel your deck without using your energy. So that's going to be very strong. And then on top of that, the on-play draw card is great for a 0k, because you are really just trying to replenish your hand after getting a 0 out of it, and I love that. Now, moving over to the Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi is pretty cool. Chi-Chi is on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, and then when this card is used in the combo from the battle area, you can use up to 1 battle card from your card in the combo from your drop. So this is very interesting. You're going to be able to play this and just kind of run with it. A Self-Awakener is really good, and this is exactly what I was hoping for. Yeah, it's not in Piccolo's Archetype, but this is a 1-cost Self-Awakener that's going to be able to combo for 10k. Meaning, I think I play 4 of this card in Piccolo, because you pick up a card from your life, and then you attack, and you immediately combo this guy for 25k crit and pass. Then they have no choice but to attack into your leader if they want the draw. Giving you the draw, you still have crit. Yeah, chef's kiss. Love this. Love this for me. And then in the next slide, we are going to talk about these SR arts. Goma looks goofy, but at the same time, lots of the DA SRs have been, I'm not gonna say underwhelming, but they've been kind of like static. I think it's just because you can only use so many assets, like it's still kind of a licensing issue. And then you have Chi-Chi. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this for the same reason I was not a fan of the Bola Super combo. Yeah, no. I don't even need to get into it. I'm just not a fan of this. And if I have to play the deck, I'm gonna max rarity it, but I hope they make an alt-art of this that doesn't look like this. Then we're going to go over to the gold markers, and this is cool. We're going back to a 6 marker pack because they're putting the Vegeta one in there. And I will say right now, if I have to rate these, right? Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put Android 18 at the bottom. I know she's waifu, but this is just her, and then her from another angle, which is like the same as we get for Goma and Goku. But there's just something else about it. I think Goku, or Android 18 and Goma are probably the least attractive of these energy markers. I'm going to automatically put Goku and DKP in the next one. They look really, they just look cool. Goku is just OG, and he has his like kick that he hit against Roshi. And then the Piccolo just looks ferocious. I love him in the throne, and I love that gold marker in the background. At top tier, I think you have Broly in second place. He's menacing in the back, but we've seen that pose a lot. And then you have Wrathful Broly in the front. That was cool. But I think the best energy marker out of all of these is the Vegeta. SS3 Vegeta in the background, just farming aura, just looks amazing. And I think that it's just a really cool energy marker. And the last thing I wanted to get to, because I am, like I said before, I'm splitting these into 2 videos because there's just so much to go over. We are getting another deck box with sleeves and, you know, a special card and an energy marker. And this is cool. This energy marker is actually just ferocious. And on top of that, we have not only a foil card, but we have new information because this card has not been revealed in anything. This card is a field card called Planet Vampa. And Planet Vampa is, it says that if you have, you can, field, it's a field card, and then you activate the main, you switch the card to rest, and then if you have a Broly BR with the cost of 7 or more in your battle area, you draw a card. So that's actually really cool. I dig that heavy. When you have your Awakened Leader, he only draws and discards. But having this field card on the board will allow you to draw one if you have your body on board, then draw one, discard one with your leader. So you technically filter 2, you -1. I think it's great. And so I think this stuff is pretty much shaping up. I think it's shaping up. And we ain't even done yet, because we have more spoilers from the Daima Vegeta, or as I like to call it, Daijita starter deck, and I am super excited to go over those 2, because this might be my favorite yellow deck going into stuff. We have this Vegeta, and it says when attacking, if you have 2 or more rest mode battle cards, the cost of 2 or more in your battle area, draw 1 card. This is pretty cool because he just pretty much rewards you for going sideways. If everything have started swinging and this guy swings last, draw a card. And yellow has just habitually had low combo power, so any of these cards that replace themselves are generally good, and this card will gain value every turn that it stays on the board, so that's great. And then we got the SR for this starter deck, and this is a Super Saiyan Vegeta Daima, 5 cost, 30k power, and he just says activate main once per turn, choose up to 1 rest mode battle card with a cost of 4 or less in your opponent's battle area, KO it, then switch this card in your battle area to active. I think that's actually really cool. You're going to be able to swing for 30, pop something, a swing for 30 again. Combined with the fact that your leader can get boosted by the Bulma and swing multiple times, this is just actively insane to me. You're going to be pelting your opponent with 20ks and 30ks, just depending on how many Gomas and this card and Bulmas you see, and I think it's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time. This Vegeta deck is going to be something special, I think. So much of his offense comes from 1 card. Your leader can dual attack, Goma can dual attack, this card can dual attack, and I think that when you can have 1 card that can make multiple attacks, not only are your boards more dangerous, because if your opponent lets 1 body stay on the board, it's not just going to be 1 attack, but you can focus more of your deck to your defense, and I think this is great in utility. Now the next card I want to talk about is Revive Bug. I personally love this card. It's a 1 cost, activate main, switch 1 card with a cost of 2 or more in DA in its card name in your battle area to rest mode, and draw 2 cards. So you're going to trade this 1 extra card for 2 cards, and the cool thing about this is that depending on the card you use, you cannot, like for instance, hear me out. Let's say you wanted to get your opponent down to 2 life, right? But you also wanted to draw some defense. Like, let's say you're not going to kill them this turn, there's no way, but you can at least press them. You can literally attack with Vegeta Daima, the SR we just talked about. Deal 30, take a card from their hand, take 2 cards from their hand, whatever, see what you want to do. And if you just want to draw instead, you can activate his ability to KO something and untap him, and then play Revive Bug and retap him, and then just draw 2 cards. I think the utility in this deck is great. I think one of the cats just knocked over my green screen, but the point is, this is actually just really cool, and I love this sort of card. Now the last card we have on this docket is Results of Training. He's a 1 cost, activate battle. Your cards in battle get plus 15k. For the battle, and then if there's a rest mode battle card with a cost of 3 or more in your battle area, draw 1 card. And that's going to be actually pretty cool. This is like a Galagun, except I think it's actually kind of better, because you just have to have a rest mode card with 3 or more. That could be a Janemba SR, that could be the SR we just showed in here, that could be a great many things, and you're just going to draw a card while defending yourself for 15k. Hear me out, I think Daijita is going to be a stellar deck. So yeah, that's it for this one. Like I said, we're gonna have a second video going over the rest of the teases and spoilers and news that they dropped in this stream, so look out for that tomorrow. You can always go on the description and check out the other avenues of Universe X, such as the channel where I'm doing more gaming. We're doing the Sand Day Dokkan Fest summons later tonight. I'll probably live stream those. We'll be live streaming Digimon Cyber Sleuth at like 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight, Hacker's Memory. So yeah, we're doing a whole bunch of things. And then as per usual, getting back in the habit of letting the people that help support me further shine hard. So a special shout out to the Realm of Xers. That's my top Patreon tier. The Big Daddy Flapjacks, the Beer R's, the Brother Bears, the Bryce R's, the Dallas S's, and the Daniel Inns of the world. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you all for the other like just roles that you guys have on the Patreon, the Galactic Patrollers, the Universal Aristocrats, and even the Denizens of Universe X. Thank you for all of that. I could not do this without you, and I will see you in the next video. Later.